comfortable. Okay, share screen. Share screen. You can see this screen, right? Okay, now we need Google Classroom because I can share materials with you. So our reference book will be, this one. Let me give you this. Guys, do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see my screen. So I will give you everything because nowadays for you managing hard copy might be a little bit complicated or difficult. So this will be our fiber optic communication system by Agrawal. This is a very famous book, actually, very worldwide, a very popular book. I have a soft copy of this book. So I will inshallah share this book with you. I have already, it's recording. Okay, so I can write actually. So our course code is, do you know course code actually? 6401, right?
Right, sir.
Okay. So our reference book is fiber optic communication by Agrawal. It's actually Govind P. Agrawal. So G. P. Agrawal. Okay, so this is our reference book. So this is Dr. Reza. This is our first class. Today date is 18. So 18/6/21. Try to register and get the email address so that you can be added, so that I can also upload, because after each class the video lecture as well as any lecture note, everything will be actually uploaded to the class, so it will be very handy for you. Okay, so now this is actually our reference book. So what should be the method? So I will use some slides. Mostly I will try to have like a whiteboard. Okay, I will use whiteboard, means I will write a lot. And also this whiteboard, it will be converted to the PDF. That PDF will also be shared with you. No problem, inshallah. Okay. So today actually, as it's our actually introductory class, so not much things to discuss. Just to introduce you what are the stuff we will be discussing in this course. So you will actually supply you, because I cannot give you stuff. I will also give you the course outline. So everything will be uploaded. Okay, inshallah, no problem. In the course outline, you can see the detail of the syllabus mapping, and I can also have it probably. Let me check. Okay, no, syllabus is not important at this point. You will be know it like in time, inshallah, no problem. So fiber optic communication is nothing but the communication, right? Our main focus will be actually communication, but because I don't know whether you have or how much you have like background about fiber optics, little bit different. So we will actually introduce different kind of aspect of fiber so that we can use it in communication. Okay, it's actually a more or less kind of communication style course, but lots of fiber optic aspect actually will be discussed. So now how the fiber optic actually, what is the core of this fiber optic, what is the core concept, what is the core concept of this fiber optic communication? The most core concept is the light, communication through light. That's actually main thing, right? So communication through light is not actually new phenomenon, right? Because we know the speed of light What is the speed of light? Right, this is the speed of light. So it's very fast. So light is used as a communication tool for ages, especially in the Middle Ages, when the big kingdoms actually they communicate to their ages to the most farthest places through the light. Probably they had big towers. From there actually they can have a candle or light so that they can give signal to 10 kilometers away. Then they got the signal. This way actually from the capital communication can be goes to the further border area, because light is actually goes fast, light travels faster. Also at night you can use it. Now for our case we will actually see the history of this fiber optic communication. Okay, so I can share some old slides where we actually see how this came about. So fiber optic in our nowadays, because this is the internet ages, optical fiber is very common. We have seen even our basic internet in our home actually they are come through fiber optic, right? We it's very commonly known, this stuff, fiber optic. There is a optical material kind of cabling, so we know it. Okay, this is, even if you do not know anything about science behind fiber optic, you know that in the roadsides we can see this kind of optical fiber instead of coaxial cable. Instead of coaxial cable, all our connections nowadays actually by optical fiber. Now optical fiber is nothing but a dielectric material. So can anyone tell me what is the dielectric material? Guys?
Sir, dielectric material is which doesn't conduct electricity.
Kind of insulator. Dielectric is
yes,
kind
sir.
of
Insulator.
Insulator, but it is not. For example, plastic is an insulator, but plastic cannot be ionized or polarized. Dielectric material can be polarized. That's the basic difference from a dielectric with its, for example, plastic, right?
Yes,
So now let me share with the guy who actually invented. Do you see this guy? Professor Charles Cow. He actually invented the most fundamental optical fiber. Okay, and this it is actually one of his old picture. This is the guy, Daniel. The scientist Daniel first did the experiment with water jet. For example, you see here there is a. Do you guys see my pointer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's nothing but a light source actually going through a water hole, because water is dropping. If you pass through light, this water also carries a light. This is the first time a guided light medium was discovered, that okay, light can be guided. Before, the concept was not there, the light can be guided. You can guide your light. That's why this light guiding first experiment was done by water jet. Okay, then actually the this is the famous scientist actually, Narendra Singh. He actually make it a breakthrough on modern, how the modern optical fiber will be made. This is not actually our course. Okay, how the optical fiber will be made, mechanism is not actually our course. Okay, in this course we will not focus like production of optical fiber is not actually our goal. This is not actually our mechanism. Probably in this course, one or two mechanism. This is a very sophisticated way to produce a light. So we'll actually see one or two method, but this is not actually our aim. Okay. I still remember I will share this story later, some later, but I have an interesting story about one of my course I attended about optical fiber fabrication. So I had a very bad experience. Probably in some time I will inshallah share with you this knowledge. Now so this is the reference slide I will be using throughout. So this is the reference slide by Professor Agarwal himself. Okay, I actually used some of his slide on this communication system. Okay, so in this course outline we will use many things. So I don't like to confuse you with difficult terminologies. In days, these terminologies will be very easier for us. Okay, no problem. Because this is our first class, so we'll actually go through some historical perspective. Okay. So the first telegraph was introduced in 1836. We will talk about some era when the electronics communication was happening. Okay, then actually we came to this age. Okay, I like to shut down the video of mine because we don't need it. Inshallah, how to do that? How to turn off the camera?
There should be option at the top if you're sharing screen.
Oh yes, because it's a long. I'm not using Zoom. That's why.
Yes.
Okay. Now I like to share with you some when we talk about optical fiber. We like to see this this spectrum. Let's see, or this spectrum probably. This is also better. I have downloaded some spectrum figure. What we are talking about when we talk about optical fiber communication, what do we actually mean? This is a very good picture. Probably it's more visible to you. Let me zoom in. Cannot be zoomed in. Huh? Do I have another picture? Yeah. Guys, see this picture. Eh? This is not a good. Okay. I was trying to edit this picture actually. Okay. We are all familiar with our radio wave. You guys can see my pointer. We are actually so far, probably you did some telecommunication and blah, blah, blah. We were actually in this range, radio waves. Now, we are also familiar with the microwaves. Right? Microwave, even from its name, is the household microwave, the one we use in our kitchen for warming food, that is also in the same wavelength, microwave frequencies. Now, you see, we also know about the X-ray, right? X-ray is very high frequency, you cannot see it. So our study, the optics actually will be in between. So it will be a little bit higher frequency in the infrared, and in like from more than, like in optics, we will actually mean that okay, it will be higher than the microwave, but it will be, the frequency range will be lower than the X-ray. So this will be infrared and ultraviolet in this frequency range. Actually 10 to the power 12. 10 to the power 12 is called terahertz. So our optical fiber communication happens actually in this range, terahertz range. So this was our actually microwave. This is actually our radio waves, mobile communication, right? Megahertz and gigahertz. So we will be in terahertz. 10 to the power 12 is actually, this is our actually frequency spectrum. Here we will be working. Okay. So little bit history of communication. The first communication happened in telegraph. Telegraph is nothing but, do you remember guys what kind of code is used in the telegraph? Like this. I don't know whether you have ever played with this kind of code. This is a one dot, this is a long dot, means actually long voltage. So like for only 1 second, for example, 1 second voltage and 2 second voltage. So this kind of code combination is called Morse code. So that was actually first by our telegraph. Then of course, telephone technology came by the coaxial cable, right? What was the problem of the coaxial cable? It's nothing but actually coaxial cable come later before twisted pair cable comes. Twisted pair came. Okay. So twisted pair, because this is by copper, means it has actually huge loss, copper loss. Because copper is a metal, that's why it's actually very lossy. So we do not want a copper to be used in a system. That's why the coaxial is still in the coaxial. There is a one axial, means one central conductor is still the copper, so still is very lossy. Now then came the microwave. This actually changed a lot about the how the speed or whatever, the technology changed a lot by introducing the microwave, because microwave, the first time microwave is transmitting through the free space. So in Agrawal, there is a figure I like to share with you. This figure. Let me see. This figure is nothing but the in year how the technology changes. You see, 1850 the first microwave telegraph introduced, then in around 90s telephone introduced, then coaxial cable. When the microwave came, this plot actually is given us with a BL product. What is the BL product? B is nothing but the data rate, and L is the length, means before using a repeater. What I mean is, for example, how the signal was transmitted when telegraph, telephone, whatever stuff had. For example, this is a telegraph or telephone booth. So it goes, the signal goes to like 10 kilometers. Then signal becomes very weak. Then you need a amplifier or repeater, whatever. Okay, amplifier. Then again, it can go up to 10 kilometers. Then again, you need a repeater or amplifier. Okay. So this is this BL product. We are using a BL product. This is a very common matrix. B is the, so the expression comes in bits per second. It is the data rate. L is the length, means kilometers. How long the signal can travel without repeating. That actually gives you how strong or how good is your system is. Okay. So this figure actually gives us, for example, for microwave, the BL product is almost 10 to the power 6, means actually the data rate is in megahertz. If data is 1 megahertz, it goes to 1 kilometer, so you can get 10 to the power 6. So this is actually the kind of matrix which actually gives us. Then actually the this repeating space should be increased, because 10 kilometer is too slow or too short. If we cannot go at least 100 or 1000 kilometers, what is the point? Because of the advent of the technology, people started communication further. So we do not want to use so many repeaters. Okay. So can anyone tell me what is the loss in the copper wire? So loss in the copper wire, loss in copper.
Sir.
What is the loss in the copper wire? Some dB per hertz, right? Per kilometer, this kind of. So the loss is more than like 1000 dB at the before when the first telegraph was introduced. 1000 dB per kilometer means actually you cannot go even 1 kilometer. Every half an kilometer you have to put this repeater, blah blah, this kind of stuff. Okay. Then actually when from copper we go to the microwave. This is a free space propagation. When we go from copper wire to microwave, then our this BL product increases. This is a good one for us, right? Which is actually here, microwave. Of course, technology is actually increased a lot. This is not yet sufficient. Then actually we are in the light wave, means actually our present like predecessor of the optical fiber communication actually started here. Okay. So everything changes by introducing optical fiber when it was invented, because optical fiber invented means actually the alongside component, optical amplifier, the multiplexer, these things can be introduced. Okay, so the microwave and coaxial cable, the data rate cannot be more than 100 Mbps, but optical have the highest data rate. If data rate is high, BL product will be increased, right? B into L, L is the length, BL product will be increased. Now, I like to share with you one picture how the optical fiber nowadays. Optical fiber is very like old stuff nowadays because it's introduced in 90s, 60s. It's almost 60 years, right? So we are very much familiar with this optical fiber stuff by when this is a picture. You see how the optical fiber is actually connecting through oceans. You see, optical fibers actually connecting through one country to other country through the ocean. What we call this kind of connection? It's very famous also. Bangladesh is also connected
Submarine cable.
Submarine cable actually. So let me show you a picture of submarine cable. If I like present how Bangladesh is connected with the submarine cable. Let me see if I have some. So every country has a dedicated map how the submarine cables are gone through. There are lots of versions of the submarine cable, like version 1, version 2, version 3. So every country have multiple connection. If one of the submarine cable goes wrong, other submarine. So this is a picture. This is an old picture, but this submarine cable is actually still working. This is a CME 3. This is a cable. So there are another version 1, 2, 3. Another version is still existing. So for example, in Bangladesh, actually connecting here, right? Bangladesh is actually connecting. Well, where is my pen? So you can see, Bangladesh is connecting here. So Bangladesh actually nowadays connected with multiple, at least 3 connections. Every country is actually have multiple connections, because in case one connection got lost, still the connection is working for. So that otherwise your country will be isolated. Okay, so this is actually submarine cable. Bangladesh got first connection probably 1996 probably. There was a like big, at that time government didn't want to connect with the submarine cable, because that time the government has a fear. I still remember because I was young then. 1992 was the first time this cable was laid down. At the beginning, Bangladesh could have connected to the submarine cable free, because the whole funding came from like European or American countries. But Bangladesh did not connect to this cable because of the fearing of the information, what is called leakage kind of stuff. A fear that information will be hacked or information will be passed from our country. So that government didn't. Later, Bangladesh actually had to pay a lot so that they can reconnect with this. At that time, it was actually very big news around. So you can actually check our like what other connections are actually existed in Bangladesh, okay, or in your own countries, whatever happens. Now, so we actually passed those era, okay. So telegraph era goes, telephone era goes, coaxial cable era goes, microwave era goes. Now we are in the optical fiber era, okay. So optical fiber era, they are actually have 5 generation. Our present generation is actually 5th generation optical communication system, okay. So generation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. I will actually summarize all these generations. So let me, if I can write generation 1 optical fiber generation. So optical fiber generation, okay? Optical fiber generation. Guys, do you like see my writing? Is okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fiber
Yes, sir.
communication generation. So we just seen there are 5 generations, okay? So first generation, what happened? First generation, okay? What's happened in the first generation? So in first generation, okay, let me give you in our reference book, you will find it on page 5. I'm just giving you the summary. Okay. So for this is actually the summary of the generation where the chart, see this chart. This chart. Okay. So this is actually for every generation what happens at generation. Because the generation changes every generation. Second generation here, third generation happened here, fourth generation happened here. Okay. In every generation, this is actually their capacity. How we actually distinguish generation by their capacity. How the capacity increases. Capacity is nothing but the data rate into kilometer. This is BL product again. You see, we actually distinguish or we categorize the optical communication generations by their BL product. B is the nothing but the data rate, and L is the minimum repeating distance. Okay, or per kilometer, how much data it can convey. This kind of stuff. Okay. So in our first generation, what happens in first generation? So what happened in first generation? So first generation. So what is the bit rate at first generation? The bit rate was, so bit rate was 45 Mbps. Actually capital M, Mbps. And the repeating distance, B, this is B, this is BL, in BL product, this is B. What is the repeating distance? So repeater. So repeat distance D, actually 10 kilometer. That is actually L. So this is how we got the BL product. Okay. Now this happens around 1977, that time. Okay. And generation 2, second generation. Second generation. What happened in second generation? What is the bit rate? In second generation, bit rate increased a lot. So bit rate becomes 100 Mbps. Almost double, eh? And what is the repeating distance? L becomes 50 kilometer. So it's almost 5 times. Now, whenever we are talking about optical, very important thing is that at what frequency? Because optical frequency, we have just seen our picture previously, right? Optical frequency, here is a microwave. Here is our microwave. Eh? So beyond microwave starts the optical. And actually it's before the X-ray. X-ray. It's a very wide range. So whenever we talk about different generation, so which frequency or which wavelength was it? It is also important. Okay. So for second generation, the operating wavelength was 1.3 micrometer. 1.3, for example, for example, this is 10 to the power 1.3. Eh? So say this is 1, this is 1.3, this is 1.5. So 1.3, 1.5. Okay, all are micrometer. So we were here. Our second generation, our operating frequency was here. Now the question is, why 1.3? Why not 1? Why not blah blah blah? Right? So at this time, At when this was the frequency, we know at this time our loss is very important in optical fiber. In optical fiber, loss is very important. Every time I draw this way, right? This soon this will be very known figure to you. This is a optical. This is called core, optical fiber core. This is a cladding. This is very nowadays very famous picture because optical fiber is very common household stuff, right? So what is this loss here at up to second generation? It was 1 dB per kilometer. Now we are saying this is actually our operating frequency 1.3. Why? There is a reason why the operating frequency is 1.3. This 1.3, this one, we will see actually. I'm just giving you the note that at that time, this is the lowest loss in optical fiber. At this frequency, optical fiber shows or exhibits lowest loss. For example, if I scan this optical fiber with different frequencies, this is, for example, micrometer, and this is loss curve. You'll see, probably we'll see soon, that this loss curve is not a linear. Not every frequency loss is equal. Loss changes. You will see. We'll see this kind of curve. So 1.3 was here, for example, which shows little bit lower loss. That's why we use it. Also, there are another reason. So we do not need to know it very deep now. Okay. This loss we will actually discuss in our future classes, inshallah. That time it will be very clear. I'm just showing you just for sake of explanation. And we this is second. There was a technology invented at that time. Whenever we talk optical fiber, same time another component comes. What is the component? This optical fiber carries light, right? It carries light. But who gives this light? That's the question, right? The light is going through, but who is generating this light? Laser generating this light, right? This is also actually our future topic. How it is laser, how it works, blah, blah, blah. But this is the first time a laser with indium, gallium, arsenic phosphate. This kind of laser was first introduced. This is actually, instead of indium, gallium, arsenic, I can write it semiconductor laser. Semiconductor laser. This was introduced. That's why, and this, the frequency wavelength, actually this one, it can actually operate at 1.3. That's why our operating wavelength is 1.3. Inshallah, in our syllabus, we will actually discuss this category. Just do not afraid of what is in indium, gallium, arsenic, phosphate. Do not afraid of. You will see it is very easy stuff. Laser. We will actually, in future classes, we will discuss about this. You see, which generation depends on what kind of technology invented at that time. Okay. Now, generation 3. So third generation. So what is happen in third generation? So again, the bit rate. What was the bit rate? Previously it was 100 Mbps, right? Now bit rate increase a lot. 100 Gbps, gigabit per second, and the repeating distance increase. This was 50, so it becomes 100 kilometers. You see, it becomes almost double. Now, here, surprisingly, another things happen, which is actually this wavelength, this one. Previously, it was 1.3. Now, a new technology invented at that time. So the wavelength, operating wavelength was 1.5. So let me give you some date. So this was happened around 1981. And let's see in the book when this happened. Like 1985. Okay, so third generation came around 1985, around this time. Now, around this time, this happens actually. Remember these points. In future, we'll discuss about that 1.3 and 1.55 micro. These 1.55 will, you see, our third generation means there will be another generation called fourth generation, right? Naturally. So in fourth generation, this will never change. This 1.5 will never change. This wavelength will 1.5, even if there is a fifth generation, this 1.5 will never change. There is a reason, because at 1.5 actually happens here in our, if I draw like the loss curve I draw, there it is really somewhere here. At 1.55, the optical fiber, typical optical fiber, the way we created optical fiber, how we created optical fiber? By using silica, right? Silica is actually nothing but glass and plastic combination. And this material shows a lowest loss at 1.5 here. That's why still till day we are sticking around this frequency micrometer. So because this is so popular that this 1.5 becomes the telecommunication frequency. You guys are telecom, right? Like you, like we are electrical engineer. We deal with optical fiber for what? Telecommunication purpose. That's why still till day we are using, and this is our optical fiber. 1.5 is actually our till day is the operating frequency. Okay, so so for fourth generation, what changes? Oh, this is the third. So fourth generation, what else happen? Bit rate, right? What is the bit rate becomes? Bit rate becomes tera. It was 10 Gbps. Now it becomes 10 TPPS, tera bit per second. And the length L increase up to 10,000 kilometers. You see, optical fiber gives a huge. Now in fifth generation, the wavelength is remains same. Repeating means L. Okay, so let me. So L becomes 35 to 50,000 kilometers up to, huge. And web bit rate, B bit rate becomes, before it was 100 or 10 TPPS, it becomes now like 100 plus terabit plus terabit per second. You see how the technology is so fast. Now, whatever in this syllabus, whatever we will be talking about, everything is actually fifth generation. So our syllabus, our focus is actually fifth generation. Technology is actually fifth generation. Fifth generation is actually still running. Probably soon there will be a sixth generation standard will come, but still whatever we do, we will have. So in fifth generation, what we will have? We will have laser, we will have optical fiber, we will have detector, we will have amplifier. Because they say optical amplifier, this amplifier we mean actually optical amplifier. So this is actually our main component: laser, optical fiber, detector, and amplifier. These are actually the main component will be in our traditional communication. If I draw a block diagram, laser L, what laser do? If I give a electrical signal, means current, it will convert me or give me a optical output. It will go through. Probably in between, we will use modulator. We will use modulator. What modulator do? We can insert, because this is optical light. This is optical fiber, means this is optical light. In the light, we will insert some radio signal or data signal. Still, the output will be modulated light carries a data. We can use the amplifier A. Then after long distance, like thousands of kilometers, it will be detected. For example, I start from Bangladesh. probably end up in USA. At the detector, what the detector do? Still, this is light. Input is light, output is electrical signal. Whatever happens here, the reverse stuff happens here. You see, this is a block diagram of an optical system. Okay, our future study will be on block by block. Okay, this is fiber. So we will study laser. Actually, at the beginning, we will study fiber first. First, we will study fiber. Then we will study laser. Third, then we will study modulator, and fourth, we will study detector. Of course, at the in between, we will study amplifier also. So you see, all these are actually our block diagram. So we will start from the next class. We will study fiber first, then laser second, then modulator third, then we will study detector, then we will study amplifier. These are actually same block diagram like a telecom, right? Telecom was all electrical. These are all optical. Okay. Nothing much in this class, inshallah. So day by day, we'll actually we'll learn a lot. No problem. I will actually try to go through, like take you through very fundamental process so that it is much understandable. Assuming that most of you do not have like strong, I don't know how many of you have optical background, guys, like bachelor.
Sir, I did that.
You guys had a like in IUT, it is an optional course, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about others? You guys have optical course before?
Yes, sir. In our university, it was mandatory course, and my thesis was also on optical fiber, photonic crystal.
Okay.
study.
Okay. Yeah, those who worked on, because nowadays photonic crystal fiber is very, very popular, and like optical experiment is actually very expensive. So we cannot afford optical experiment. That's why we use simulator. So those who work on simulator like COMSOL, all this kind of stuff, you guys already have some basic. But we will not like photonic crystal fiber is very very small portion of this whole spectrum, right? So inshallah will. So most of you actually probably have. So I can like make some like in-depth study also, no problem. But we will start from very basic and we'll go in depth, no problem, inshallah. So guys, how long is our class? Up to 5? Can we
Yes,
do
sir.
some? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so do you have like class after this? Like today, is it comfortable? What happens? Like, can we go on or we should stop? What happens? Okay, so okay, let me see what is actually in our introductory class. Okay, so this actually I was discussed. Okay, like you have a optical laser, we call optical transmitter. Communication channel is nothing but optical fiber, optical receiver. This is actually fundamental block diagram. Detector. That's actually, these are the picture I try to draw so far. Okay, so now in optics there are typical the modulation scheme that you studied in digital communication. They are the same thing. Okay, because in optics optical fiber is actually only a channel. Whatever you do, for example, in your digital communication, the fiber will only carry that one, nothing else. That's why the modulation schemes are same as the digital communication. Amplitude shifting, for example, this is our typical expression, right? Optical carrier. This is an electrical field. E is the electrical field. If I express a simple expression that if the electrical field is E, then E hat is the polarization unit vector. Because now in typical radio wave signal, we do not write it because typical radio wave signal is microwave. But in optics, there is a polarization. What does we mean? In microwave, optics is nothing but, so what is the frequency? 10 to the 12 is our frequency, high frequency. Optics is nothing but high frequency microwave or invisible microwave. Whatever the microwave properties have, the optical fiber have the same. So we will have a E plane and H. So there will be E and H field. This field can always maintain 90 degree, but they can rotate, they can change. So it can be like this way also. But always there will be 90 degree phase shift between the E and H field. We will discuss it more. So this is the amplitude of the signal, this is the frequency, this is the phase. So if you modulate the phase, then it's a phase shifting, is modulate the frequency, frequency shifting. If you modulate the amplitude, then amplitude shifting. Usually polarization we do not change actually, because the polarization ultimately changes the amplitude. That's why we try to maintain polarization in the fiber. So sometimes they are called polarization maintaining fiber. Okay. So these are actually how the bit stream in optical fiber goes. So this is very common. I say the in optical fiber always carry digital data. So there could be two digital data, right? It can be return to zero, non-return. It's very like fundamental stuff. You already know it. Return to zero. It had to come here. The pulse, it goes up, it has to come here. But in non-return to zero, it do not come. It stay here. If it's the second pulse is also 1, it goes there. So that's why it's called non-return to zero. Okay. So this stuff we will not discuss it in this class. In future classes, one by one, we will discuss this. Today's class is nothing more actually the fundamental stuff. There is nothing much to discuss. Okay. No, nothing else. Okay, just in this slides. No, I will not discuss about this slide. Okay, so this is our introductory. So we will actually, inshallah, in the next class we will start with our fiber. That will be our first topic. Different properties, blah blah blah. What happened? How the microwave or fields actually travel through fiber, and most importantly, guys, I will discuss about, of course, no problem, but that is the most important equation in optical fiber communication. So what you can do, just before the next class, just go through your old memories. Probably in our bachelor, you did microwave communication or micro fields and waves, whatever subject, in different university of different topic, but it's the same thing. So Maxwell's equation. Try to go through it. Inshallah, I will discuss it in detail. We'll be using it a lot. Okay, guys. Any question about today's class? If no, kindly try to have your Google, what is called, classroom IDs or everything, so that we can carry on in Google Meet. Okay, so, like I have a soft copy of the book. I can upload all this stuff. So I think I can stop sharing and